Sunday morning cold, eyes on the score, touchdown dance ball, craving for more. Friends are calling, trades are on fire. Rookies falling, championship desire. Fantasy football fever, chasing the dream. Top of the leaderboard, we're the winning team.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Fantasy Football Healers. I'm Dustin Brown, and with me is Colten Palmer. You can find us at FF Healers and at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. Also streaming on YouTube, just search FF Healers. Colten, it's championship week.
Championship week, man. One of the best, and yet one of the worst weeks of fantasy football. You're happy you made it to this point if you're in the ship. But my goodness, it's just the most terrifying week of all time because at this point, anything can happen. And I made 2 championships so far. It's me and my wife are going head to head in our family league. So it's hostile over here.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. And she's already won once. She's been in the league. This is her 3rd year. Won it once. Missed the playoffs last year, and she's right back at it. And so, of course, everybody's calling out the BS that's happening, saying, "Oh, Colton's just built 2 teams now." And I'm like, "Hey, that just looks even better on me." I'm like, "I'll take the credit." But she actually just drafts off of player names, which has worked out in her favor because she loves players such as George Pickens, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, just any fun name, she's got it. And it's so far it's worked. So if you're looking for a strategy for next year, pick the guy with the fun name because it's bringing my wife to a championship 2 out of 3 years.
Not all teams with Amon-Ra St. Brown have made it to the semifinals and the finals. I ended up trading for Amon-Ra St. Brown, and I also had Pitts both scoring over 40 points, and I ended up losing by 4 points in the first round of the playoffs. I lost 208 to 204.
Wow,
because JJ McCarthy decided to play football.
Hey, I mean,
that week.
If you talk enough crap about somebody, their ears are gonna burn and they're gonna come after you, Dustin. And I think
they definitely came after me. Came after me.
Well, my other league that I made the championship in, I should not be there. I don't know how I made it there. I am the 6th seed, and everybody's giving me a bunch of crap because I didn't go and buy a bunch of players. They're like, "What are you doing?" And it's because, get this, the whole season I was sitting about 8-7, 8-7, just back and forth between these 2 spots. I was trying to make a push, but I'm like, I just don't really know if I have the team to make the playoffs. And if I do, how am I going to compete? I mean, I've got JSN and Amon-Ra, who has absolutely carried me the last pretty much 3 weeks before the playoffs. Just floated me in there. A last-second win. I beat the guy by points. I needed him to lose, me to win, and then I had to outscore him by like 40-something points. And, of course, it was a week Amon-Ra and JSN both went off. I outscored him by like 42 or something like that. Made the playoffs by 2 points. And now I'm the scrappy 6th seed, clawing my way to the championship. Here's my running backs, though. I've got Woody Marks, Javonte Williams, Travion Henderson. Should have played Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt this week. I didn't know Chris Rodriguez was going to be sick, and they ruled him out last minute. Otherwise, I would have played him.
You would have threw him in?
But instead, I've got Samaje Perine in there because
you would have definitely played him.
I would have definitely played him. This team is just scrappy, and it's going against a pretty good team who's got Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, Nico Collins, Cortland Sutton, luckily, decided not to play, A.J. Brown. So it's...
And Colten.
I'm the underdog, but man, I'm clawing. Hopefully JSN goes off again this week. Amon-Ra got me a solid roughly 15 points, but it's a shaky week, man. Such a shitty league.
Semifinals in Marvel League, I ended up just squeaking by 111.1 to 110.4. And I had Henderson. Henderson went out early in the game, and I was playing against the kicker. And there was 5 minutes left in the game, and I saw that the Patriots were making their way down the field. And I'm like, oh, crap, if they get another field goal, I'm out of this. They end up scoring a touchdown. They end up kicking the extra point, and that's how I ended up making it into the championship week. I do have Sutton playing, and he has not done squat for me. I had the Broncos playing against the third-string quarterback. I don't even know what his name is. Akuda or something like that with Kansas City. I'm thinking that the Broncos
Aduka.
Anyway,
Lalu or whatever.
never heard of the guy in my life. The Broncos defense has been smothering teams all year long, and they give me 5 points in the championship against a no-name.
I think it was just like they were ready to – they like to play games close. But I think they were also ready just to cruise through this team. It's just they were just like, what do we need to do? We made the playoffs, so we're gonna clinch the division. I mean, we just gotta cruise. We just gotta barely beat them, and that's what we're gonna do. Now let's not go get hurt.
Sutton dropped 2 touchdowns. Like that could have helped. 2.
I'm actually playing against Sutton, so that was an overwhelming, wonderful feeling in my life as I saw him drop 2.
Well, and you said about Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. Did you know that he's outscored Gibbs in fantasy playoffs?
Man, the Gibbs owners have got to be upset about this one. There's a team that in one of my leagues that we thought was gonna claw her way to the championship because her team is just so good, and Gibbs just let her down at the last minute. It was just wild. You gotta feel for Gibbs owners, but at the same time, they've probably been riding his back all the way here anyway, so they can't be mad. I mean, that's just like one of those things. It's like you can't be mad at a player that got you there, and sure, they failed in the championship or the playoffs when it matters most, but they got you there at least.
Exactly.
Like, you got to build around them. You got to help them out.
Well, and then the Gibbs and the Detroit Lions, they just look like they were just not with it at all against the Minnesota Vikings.
Speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, another win, who has the same record as the Lions now, correct?
The same record, but we've beat them twice, so technically we're above them in the division.
They swept us last year. We got them back this year. But speaking of the Minnesota Vikings, I know you and your wife like to make fun of me for never owning a jersey, but I'm officially
Max Brosmer owner jersey?
A Justin Jefferson jersey owner. My wife got me a Justin Jefferson jersey for Christmas, and I was super ecstatic. Her and my son picked it out together. It was between him and Michael Pittman, and my son liked the purple. So I got Justin Jefferson, which was pretty cool.
That's really cool. Did you know that the Minnesota Vikings only had like 3 net yards in the game because Max Brosmer threw for less than 70 yards, and then he was sacked so many times. He got sacked 7 times.
7?
And it's the first in NFL history that a quarterback has been sacked more than like 7 times or more and has thrown for less than 70 yards and have won the game.
So he threw for 51 yards and was sacked for negative 48 yards. So he had a net of 3 yards.
Ice in his veins. Max Brosmer. His family was there. They're rooting him on.
Oh, they kept showing him on the TV.
Yes, they did.
I'm like, this man has 3 yards. Please stop showing this family. I'm sure they're
thinking of the movie Jingle All the Way, where the son is just like, "That's my dad. That's my dad."
I'm sure that is exciting. No one. It's a very few percentage of football players that get to play in the NFL, let alone start a game. I mean, that is pretty cool. But
what a complete turnaround from 5 interceptions or 5 turnovers from his last start. And then last week he ended up playing really well also, and we ended up winning that game. So Max Brosmer, it's nice to see him actually turn it around.
You and I have different standards for playing well.
Well, he at least
He didn't throw the ball to the other team. That's
5 turnovers versus no turnovers. That's an improvement, Colton.
it is. I mean, he threw the ball 16 times and, completed 9 of those 16s, and none of those completions were to the other team. So that is exciting.
Doesn't that just prove that the Minnesota Vikings just need a quarterback that just doesn't turn the ball over? That's all we need. That's all we need.
I don't think it is, because Justin Jefferson had a measly what?
Not very many yards,
What
Colton.
yards?
He's so close to making 1,000 yards, and I don't know if he's going to make it.
If JJ McCarthy is not back, I don't see a world where he makes it. He had 30 yards, and I think he needs. Look it up here. He needs a total of
70 or something.
53 yards.
53.
He's at 947 yards currently. He needs 50. That's almost what Brosmer threw. Just throw all of them to Jefferson.
I mean, Jefferson ended up getting 300% more yardage, net yardage than Brosmer. 300% more.
That's impressive.
What more can you ask for?
What else can you ask of your wide receiver one?
300% of the net yards.
My goodness. I can't. To all the Max Brosmer truthers out there that believed he was much better than JJ McCarthy, there's a reason they threw out a very, very dead Carson Wentz. The body, not anything else. It was just the body of Carson Wentz. A broken body.
Max Brosmer is 2-1.
That doesn't mean anything. That means absolutely nothing. That does not matter.
So you're saying there's a chance?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying the exact opposite. There's no chance. Yeah. Please bring in someone else.
That was a tough game to watch. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Lions. Just a tough game to watch. As a Minnesota Vikings fan, I don't even know what I was rooting for at that point.
What a lineup for Christmas Day. Everybody, at the beginning of the year, looking at the schedule, you would have looked at it and been like, Christmas Day is going to be awesome. You had the Cowboys versus the Commanders, which is like, big rivalry. They hate each other. It's going to be fun. Then you got the Vikings Lions, another rivalry division game. Like, things are probably going to be on the line because the Vikings lost only 4 games last year, and 2 of them were to the Lions. So, oh man, it's going to be exciting. And then you got the Chiefs versus the Broncos, man. And then all 3 let down. All 3 games.
They were duds to watch, and they were duds for your fantasy teams.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't even talk about why Brosmer was even in. JJ McCarthy, the week before, he ended up getting a hairline fracture on his throwing hand. And that's why Brosmer was our starter.
I don't even know I don't know what to say at this point. JJ McCarthy is very soft and keeps getting hurt, and I'm interested to see who the Vikings are going to bring in the offseason. I don't think it'll be Anthony Richardson any longer with Daniel Jones going down. They're going to need somebody there, and who better to bring in than somebody that at least already knows the offense for the first couple of weeks or so while he's still rehabbing. But there are going to be some bigger names. Tua's going to be out there. Most likely Kyler Murray is going to be out there. Mac Jones could easily be an option. I've heard a lot of Mac Jones to the Dolphins.
We'd have to trade. We'd have to trade for Mac Jones, and I suspect we'd have to trade quite a bit to get him because Shanahan loves him because he's under contract with the 49ers through 27.
I've heard a lot of Mac Jones to the Dolphins, which I think is actually a very interesting landing spot for him. But
I think they ride with Quinn Ewers.
God, I hope not.
They're in a complete rebuild. Why do you need to fill that quarterback spot this fast?
Gosh, for my Jalen Waddle shares, I really hope not.
I mean, they could literally throw out Quinn Ewers and hope for one of those good 2027 rookie quarterbacks to be on the market.
Yeah, they could, and especially since there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks coming out. of this draft class. There's going to be, you got Mendoza out of Indiana, who's going to probably be the big name guy who just won the Heisman. But other than that, I'm not hearing a whole lot.
Yeah, I keep seeing the stats with Mendoza versus Joe Burrow's stat line, and it's not even close. It's like Joe Burrow was double everything that Mendoza had.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting offseason.
Yeah, I'm starting to finally accumulate some names for the different positions. So, after this week, after championship week, it's all rookie time.
Back to the old rookie grind. Part of my favorite part is figuring out these rookies and seeing who I like. Last year, I just wasn't the biggest fan of this draft class, and so far, it's standing pretty true for me.
I got one last thing about JJ McCarthy. Do you know how many injuries that he's had this year?
5.
9.
9
That's true or
isn't
not, but
9 isn't no or
I don't know if that's true or not, but I had to throw it your way. With Kansas City Chiefs, they had Minshew playing last week. You had said, hey, it's Minshew magic time, and then they thought he had an ACL injury. Turns out he ended up having a tibial plateau fracture, out for the season, and then they end up having a Kuda or whatever the heck his name is playing against the Broncos, and he'll finish the season off. Did you see Patrick Mahomes smiling after the Broncos scored their last touchdown? I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to have a top 10 pick when the season's over, because if they just lose out, they're in there. Top 10.
That's just wild to think that the Chiefs, who was in the Super Bowl last year, got dominated in the Super Bowl last year. Now to a top, I mean, the Super Bowl losing team, like the curse upon the losing Super Bowl team continues. It continues to plague the earth, and that's exactly what happened. And it's just, it seems crazy to me that the Chiefs are going to have a top 10 pick. Wild.
Well, and tonight we end up having the Ravens versus the Packers, and we don't know if Jordan Love's going to play. I suspect now that the Vikings end up beating the Lions, it's going to allow Jordan Love to sit on the bench, and Malik Willis is going to be the starter. And then with Lamar Jackson, he ended up hurting his back. It sounded like his back was completely bruised. They tried giving him Toradol, and he still wasn't moving very well after last week's game. I suspect it's going to be a Huntley game. Huntley versus Malik Willis.
Yeah, Lamar is listed as doubtful, meaning he's not going to play. They're not really playing for much anyways. I mean, they can still, I think they have an outside shot at making the playoffs still, but I think they need a lot of help in order to make it. So, there's rumors swirling once again about Lamar Jackson being traded. I do not understand it. I mean, this team, I guess, is tired of him being injured towards the end of the year, just being injured in general. But I'm like, I just don't. There's so many teams that would love to have Lamar Jackson. Go ahead and trade him away if you're that happy.
Not going anywhere. And Harbaugh already had a press conference stating that he doesn't know where that rumor came from and that they're best of friends and that none of it was accurate. And Harbaugh was looking pretty straight into the camera. So I feel like he's a guy that generally speaks his mind in the right direction. He's not trying to be misleading. I don't think the Ravens are going anywhere with Lamar Jackson. They're just going to stick with him.
Yeah, and he's not moving. It would just be so stupid for them to move on from him, and because at that point you might as well just rebuild your whole entire franchise. I mean, you have a franchise quarterback, and then just being like, not good enough. What more can you want from a double MVP?
Right, exactly. I think it's just a no news situation.
Yeah.
Malik Willis, you had said about having him as a stash, I believe in our stash episode, or we at least talked about him in the stash episode, that Malik Willis, he's on a 1-year contract with the Packers. When he has played with the Packers when Love is out, he's actually played pretty well. And now he's in another spot to showcase his skills to get a bigger contract here in this offseason.
Yeah, this is his opportunity to go out, and if you can ball out, there's lots of teams needing a quarterback. So if he can go and ball out and try to prove to one of these teams, I don't think he'll walk into somewhere, no matter how well he does. I don't think he's going to walk in as a starter, but he could get a contract and have the opportunity to, compete for a starting spot depending on how well he plays. And there's people that were huge on Malik Willis when he came out of college. They expected him to kind of take over from Ryan Tannehill, and just kind of never happened, never came to fruition. And he has had the opportunity here in Green Bay, and I think to work with a much better coach that can coach up quarterbacks pretty well. Matt LaFleur is, very good at coaching up quarterbacks. So I think he's had the opportunity to learn and everything, and maybe that's good for him, and he has the chance to compete. So
I disagree. I think Malik Willis can be a starter in 2026. And if you recall that draft when he ended up getting drafted in the third round, prior to the NFL draft, there were so many people saying that he was going to be a first-round pick. We had our Glory League. I think he was drafted 101 or 102. That was before the NFL draft for Superflex. And obviously that didn't turn out so hot. But now, like here he is. He's finally developing. He did not develop at all with the Titans. He was thrust into a situation that didn't really go his way because he came out of Liberty. He wasn't NFL ready at all. And now, as you said, with Matt LaFleur, he has a little bit more time in the NFL. The game is slowed down. He's actually developed pretty well.
yeah, I didn't say that he couldn't be a starter. I'm saying I don't think he just walks into a contract and they just hand him over the keys to the team. I think he walks into a team, that has a couple of guys and just gets the opportunity to compete. And I think he could absolutely win a competition, but I don't think no matter how well he plays, it's just like a team's like, yep, we're going in on Malik Willis. Here it is, But I think he absolutely will get the opportunity this offseason to compete.
Definitely. And then just going back with just reversing time, just like 1 week ago when the Bears ended up beating the Packers in overtime, DJ Moore was only 4 points, and then he ended up with 20 plus points in the overtime win. And I have heard just so many. I'm living in Illinois, so there's so many Bears fans that are just coming out of the woodwork about how good their team is and how they're destined for a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, Vikings decided to help them out this weekend as well. On Christmas Day, gave them the Bears a little early, or a Christmas present by beating the Lions, and that got the Bears to clinch a playoff spot. But
hey, we took out the Cowboys, we took out the Lions. Like, who's next?
Yeah, just on a 4-game streak, man. But yeah, I mean, the Bears had to take a Malik Willis, Josh Jacobs list, Micah Parsons list, Packers team to overtime, and that was their Super Bowl, man. They won that game. They're ecstatic. They are so pumped. The Bears are winning the Super Bowl, don't you know? I mean, that's what they say. Everyone, as soon as the team goes over 500, all Bears fans just come out of the woodwork here in Illinois, and they're like, "We're winning the Super Bowl. We're above 500."
Probably end up, running the first kickoff back for a touchdown, and then Prince will probably be the Super Bowl halftime show from the grave.
That would be impressive.
It'd be just
very
hologram version of Prince, and he'll probably be sprinkling down some Purple Rain.
Oh, wearing his raspberry beret.
He probably will be wearing his raspberry beret and his red Corvette.
Ooh. Little Red Corvette. That's actually what my car's named.
Little Red Corvette?
Well, my car's name is Vet, and it's my little red car, Vet.
Good one. What'd you think about DK Metcalf just going berserk and hitting the supporter?
Don't call him a supporter. Don't you call him a supporter. Don't you give that fan any benefit of the doubt. That guy was being an absolute turd as well.
It sounded like it. And then there was a press conference also about him just continuing to troll DK Metcalf.
Oh, just hound him. Apparently, this guy has already been he traveled to Seattle last year and also heckled DK on the sidelines.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, no. So it's the same guy that DK called security on in Seattle last year.
Oh my.
So DK called security on him because he wouldn't stop heckling him. And now DK travels to this guy's home stadium and continues to heckle him. So DK already knew the guy. And so, and I guess he's just saying some stuff. This guy's not innocent.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea that he traveled and followed him around. That is crazy.
Yeah, so this guy's a professional heckler. And I mean, everybody knows. He took one for the team. Everybody knows if you can get in DK's head, he will start coming unhinged. And he did. So suspended 2 games. Luckily, if you have DK, he probably didn't take you to the championship anyways. So
Well, did he take you? You had DK Metcalf.
shut up.
Did he take you to the chip?
Yeah, I got bounced first round because of DK Metcalf.
Well, there you have it.
I think he scored me like 15 points or something. So he did all right, but it was.
I was going to say, wasn't it early in the game?
Yeah. Well, no, he played the whole game.
Okay.
But he just, that was in his head.
It wasn't until after.
It wasn't until after he got suspended. Yeah, he played the whole game, but it wasn't until after.
How did the refs not throw him out with?
Nobody knew about
somebody
it.
from the crowd.
It was back behind the benches, and even Mike Tomlin had just heard whispers of it. He's like, "Yeah, I haven't seen it, or I just heard about it happening." Nobody saw it because it was when a play was going on. He walked back behind the benches to the sideline, and the guy is saying crap to him, and you see him reach his hand up, and then I think the guy said something more, and then he just kind of swiped through. I don't know if it was a punch thrown, but
I saw the footage, and it didn't look like much.
It looked more of a get out of here.
It looked like more of a shove more than a punch. That's interesting. What do you think the conspiracy is about the Steelers just trying to keep DK Metcalf healthy and having him go after the person from the crowd to get the 2-game suspension for the rest of the regular season, and so that way he'll be fresh for the playoffs?
That's a stupid conspiracy.
They're already locked in.
Yeah, I mean, no, not locked in.
Aren't they locked into the playoffs?
No, so they will find out today, I believe. I believe because Mike Tomlin talked about it. I believe it is if the Ravens lose, then the Steelers are locked in, and they said they might make personnel decisions. So they said they might sit, Aaron Rodgers. They might sit Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren and all this stuff. So depending on what the Ravens do, I think if the Ravens lose, the Steelers are automatically in, and they said they might bench these guys or only play half a game to make sure that they're ready to go for the playoffs and everything. So it's all dependent upon that Ravens game. So I think that's kind of silly, especially since he's the only wide receiver they have of consequence there. I mean, they still need him to win if they have to win. He makes big plays for him, even though they don't throw to him. The big thing that this concerns me about with dynasty wise in DK is his $45 million guaranteed wiped. No longer. They owe him nothing. So they can cut him for free. They owe him nothing. And they elected to do that. So they had the option when it was upheld, the suspension was upheld. They had the option to say, no, we're not going to wipe his guaranteed, or yes, we'll just keep his guaranteed. And they elected to say, we're wiping the guaranteed. Now he has to play for it. That's not saying he doesn't get his money. It's just saying that we don't have to pay you if we don't have to. So, I mean,
a lot of money.
So it's a lot of money that DK is now playing for, which maybe incentivizes him to play better. But it also at the same time means they can move on from him. And we're looking at DK on his 3rd team, maybe ended up somewhere else. So good and bad along with it, I think. One of these players that's not getting a bunch of guaranteed money that can go dilly-dally around. So
you have to imagine that the Steelers are going to be drafting a wide receiver or 2 in this coming draft because they're completely empty at the wide receiver position, as you said.
Do they? I don't know. I mean, they've got
who they have.
They can't keep kicking the quarterback down the line though. I mean, Aaron Rodgers he's going to give up.
Another year left. He's got another year left.
Do you think? I don't know, man.
I think he's going to end up with the Minnesota Vikings, to be honest, and it's going to be so sad.
I don't know. I have no. That's
Brett Favre situation
I
again,
was gonna
because
say,
we still need to have a veteran quarterback on our roster, and he's going to be available.
oh
I
man,
know.
that could
I
happen.
know.
It could happen. And they have a defense good enough to carry Aaron Rodgers. Like
That's
it's
what I'm
gonna
saying. We just need somebody that doesn't turn the ball over. And isn't Aaron Rodgers one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history with not turning the ball over?
they need somebody that can at least throw it 10, 15 yards downfield, and he'll at least be able to do. Oh man.
He threw a couple Hail Marys this year.
Well, I know, but I'm saying next year he'll still be able to zip it 10, 15, get it to Jefferson and Addison. Oh man.
He's a cheap option, and he's not going to. I mean, he's a cheap option. 1 year contract. It's like the Brett Favre situation all
It
over
is.
again.
It's gonna
And
happen.
you kept hearing all the rumors in the preseason about the Minnesota Vikings and Aaron Rodgers, or even in the offseason, Aaron Rodgers and the Minnesota Vikings, and then he ended up like just sticking with the Steelers.
Well, he was holding out on
He
contract.
was.
He was waiting to hear what the Vikings had to say, and the Vikings said, "No, we're going JJ."
Where there's smoke, there's fire. We now have seen what JJ has to offer, and I feel like they're going to want something a little bit more steadier than JJ McCarthy behind center.
Absolutely. I mean, they saw what they had in him this year, and I think that was the right choice. What the Vikings did, they spent a high draft pick on him. They had to see what they had. I mean, he got injured that first year. They have no idea, and after watching him the second year, and there's nothing. I don't think there's anything redeemable. He shows up every now and then, but it's just nothing steady enough to actually go and win. So they know what they have now, and I think that was the right call. And now they can walk freely and say, "Hey, we're going to go get somebody else," without judgment.
I mean, stay tuned. It's going to be a wild offseason, and it's going to be a wild draft season coming up, and we're going to be here for you. So stay tuned into the Fantasy Football Healers. What about Judkins? Judkins ankle dislocation and fracture. That's very similar to what Godwin's injury was just last year. And we've seen Godwin still having troubles with his ankle.
It just sucks, man. Judkins looks so good. I mean, it's similar to what happened to Cam Skattebo too.
Yeah, exactly.
Playing.
He's up and walking around though.
Yeah, playing. He's just an animal. I would be surprised if the next day the surgeon was just like, "Can you please stop walking? Like, we just fixed this. Stop." Just
I just can't feel pain. What do you think? He just can't feel pain?
I don't know if he has nerves. He does not have nerve endings in his body. He just can't feel it.
Him and Dart.
He's an animal. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, well, and speaking of Dart too, like the Giants are just completely tanking.
Oh,
Like they're not even playing football. Well, that was what who the Vikings played just 2 weeks ago, just last week.
back to Judkins just real fast. I think he'll be all right starting next season. He gets the whole off season to rehab. He's a running back. We saw Godwin, come back slowly, but Godwin looks good now. I mean, and Godwin's also a lot older than him. Godwin's in 30 now.
29, I think.
29. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's, 6 years older than what Judkins is. He's 22, 21. So, even older than that. I can't do math this morning. It's been a long 3 days. But yeah, so I think he'll come back healthier, stronger. I think he'll be all right starting the season. But how about let's talk about the Raiders-Giants game real quick.
Exactly.
The ultimate tankathon. The Raiders have shut down Brock Bowers. And did you hear the news about Max Crosby yesterday? They told him they're shutting him down for the rest of the season. And he walked out the building. Said, nah, did not agree, walked out. Somebody go and pick this man up. He wants out. He wants to be a Raider, but at the same time, he wants out so bad because he's just so tired of this organization. How can you just shut him down? Like, how is that not blatant tanking? Like, the commissioner needs to do something. I mean, there's times where you can make business decisions. Like Brock Bowers has been injured. It makes sense to put him on IR, let him rest up, get healthy. No need to push him. But Crosby's fine. He's healthy. There's nothing wrong with Crosby. And they're just like, nah.
They don't want any chance of winning this game.
No,
want
they want
zero
no
chance.
chance.
Because
Like
right now, the Giants, I believe, are at the number 1 pick.
I believe it's whoever
And
loses this game
whoever loses this game gets the
gets the
number
number
1.
one pick. Yeah, and Crosby had a press conference, and like they asked him, they're like, "What do you think about the pick implications of this game?" He's like, "I don't care about a pick." He's like, "I'm the best defensive line." He's like, "And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna destroy them like I do." And they're like, "Nah, you're shut down."
I'd be curious to know if he has any incentives left for the season and if the Raiders also benefit from also sitting him, not only for the pick, but also for the incentives. I could definitely see that.
Oh man, what a shit show, man. I mean, I would hate to be Roger Goodell being like, "This is what we're putting on television." Just two teams trying to lose. Like, it makes no sense. I mean, I understand. It's similar with fantasy football. As soon as you're out, everybody's like, I'm not really playing. I'm like, come on, just have some integrity. Put your team in, just play. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. I get it, but man, it's just.
I'm not sure if you listened to the fantasy footballers this week, but they ended up just kind of slipping it in. They said, well, if the Giants really want to lose, why don't they just throw out Russell Wilson in there?
I did not. I did listen to him.
I laughed pretty hard when I heard that.
I did not hear him say that. Yeah, the Giants should just bench Jackson Dart before he gets hurt. That's what they should really do.
Yeah, they didn't seem like they wanted him to move or run or anything, and still the Vikings were hitting him in the helmet a couple different times, and he's shaking his head. I'm like, how is he not in the blue tent again getting checked out? He probably doesn't even know what the difference between what normal and concussion is now.
He lives. He's a permanent walking concussion.
He's not going to be long for this league, and we've said it many times.
He's gonna be worse than two. I have a feeling.
I don't even. Where do you go with that?
I don't know, man. And he won't shut down. He will not do it. He's not changed his ways even in the slightest. Maybe they get a head coach that's more like a leader of men. They need like a Mike Vrabel in there. Come in there and be like, listen, this is what you're doing. Knock your crap off. You're my franchise guy. And we'll just come down on him hard. None of this mamby-pamby. I mean, Brian Dable I have a feeling, was just like princessing him. It's like, you got to save my job. I need you to play your heart, like blah, blah, blah. And so he let him do that crap. And now they just need a leader of men in there, a Dan Campbell, a Mike Vrabel that's going to be like, nah, knock it off or I'll give you a concussion. So that's what they need. They need a strong-willed coach. So it'll be interesting to see who they go and pick up this offseason.
Say it's not coming anytime soon, and they're going to continue the tank. We talked about the Ravens-Packers game a little bit here already. Today that we also have the Texans versus the Chargers. We got Herbert. He's the number 3 most sacked quarterback in the league right now because his offensive line is in complete shambles, and he's up against the number 1 defense in the Texans.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing in this game, man. I've got Amari in Hampton. Luckily, it's not in any of my championship leagues. It's just watching them. That's who I really care about. If I have Hampton, I'm playing them. Everyone else, I don't know if I'm finding a way to sit Ladd. I'm finding a way to sit him.
Ladd or Edbuka. That's my decision in a league. And Baker Mayfield's only thrown for like 125 to 150 yards in the last 2 games since his shoulder injury that nobody continues to talk about.
The Chargers need the win. The Chargers need the win. And I can see them relying heavily on Amari and Hampton. He's looked good since coming back. This team is really hard to throw on. That secondary has been, that secondary of the Texans. Their defense is just so tough, man.
The Chargers have a lot of options, right? They've got a lot of options. They've got
I don't think it matters. They don't
Ladd. They've got their tight end. They've got Trey Harris.
I'm
trying. Allen's still alive and present there.
But it doesn't matter if you can't give Herbert time. And I have a feeling this defensive line is going to absolutely pummel this poor injured Chargers offensive line, man. I don't know if Herbert's going to get time. They're going to have to get the ball out of the hands, and it's just they're going to have to make stuff happen. And I'm just terrified of trying to play Lad McConkey against this tough of a defense in my championship week. Any of the pass catchers, Aronde, huge, any of them. I'm nervous. If it's a nerve-wracking situation, and if you have the opportunity to pick someone else in, I would, because I wouldn't be if I had the choice.
I've got Shakir, I've got Ladd, and I've got Igbuka, and I keep going like this around and around and knowing like which one am I going to play. And Igbuka has got me to where I have, where I'm at now, but Igbuka hasn't done anything the last few weeks, and he just is not on the same page as Baker. Baker's not throwing the ball very much, and I have Mike Evans already playing in that league also. So it's a tough conversation to have, but right now I have Ladd McConkey and I have Shakir as my starters in that league, and it's not looking great.
My answer is definitely Shakir over those two easily.
Yeah, and I got to play 2 of the 3.
You got to play 2 of the 3.
Or Mechie.
I think you play Igbuka. I'm terrified of Ladd this week. With all the pass catching options, and I don't know how many completions are going to be made in that game. You are then dependent on Ladd McConkey catching a touchdown. He's not his PPR target or like monster that he's going to be this week. Ladd is absolutely, I think, coming off of a season where everybody was huge on Ladd last year. He was hard to get. Nobody was going to be able to trade for him. I think with his down year, and I think with this week right here, if he doesn't play well, that's going to leave a bad taste in fantasy managers' mouth, and it's a perfect opportunity, I think, to go and get Ladd, because Keenan's not coming back. There's no way. And I mean, you're going to have Keenan. They're going to have to make a decision on Huge here this year. And so there's a possibility Ladd seeds bigger targets next year, and he's a next year stash.
We've already talked about the Steelers and the Browns game. That's kind of dependent on the Ravens. The Steelers could completely bench everybody, and the Browns have really nobody to look forward to watching.
Harold Fannin.
And Fannon's questionable, so we don't even know if we're going to have Fannin to watch for the Browns.
Gosh, I hope so. He went out with a groin injury on Thursday, wasn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, it was a late week injury. So even if Fannon's available, like I could see him having snap count.
Yeah, wild, man.
Patriots and Jets. I'm playing against the Patriots defense. And again, I thought maybe I had a chance with the Broncos and Kansas City, but it's not. I don't think so. The Patriots, I think, are going to completely dominate the Jets. I don't think you can play anybody on the Jets roster. That's including Breece Hall. This Jets team is just puke. And the Patriots wide receivers are all banged up too.
Well, exciting news is Travion Henderson was a full participant in practice on Friday. They did not list him as out, along with all like Kayshon Boutte was listed as out. A couple other players they listed out on Friday, and they did not list Travion Henderson. So Travion Henderson owners, rejoice. You have a late Christmas gift possibly coming if you are in the championship, because he could absolutely eat against these Jets. And I think Ramondre I think they'll split touches, but I think they'll just let him go nuts because their wide receivers are down. Keep Drake May healthy. Don't let him get hit in the pocket. Just let their running backs just absolutely eat here.
Travion or Tracy with the Giants?
Travion easily. If Travion's active, I'm not benching him.
Travion or Etienne?
Oof. I think the Jags are going to absolutely eat the Colts as well. So between those two, I think I'd go Etienne. Etienne's been playing so well.
Travion or Mike Evans?
Travion. I think Travion has a massive upside.
Higher upside.
If he has, they could limit his touches to like 10 or 12, and one of those can be an absolute 60-yard house call. And I think he's just so explosive, especially against this beaten down Jets team that's playing for what at this point? What are they? I mean, they're not playing for much, and I think they could let Travion just touch it and pew, gone.
I feel like they're going to lean so much on Ramondre, though.
I think they could too.
Henderson, I think, still going to be limited, but I think it's going to be such a Ramondre game.
Yeah, I think it absolutely could be as well. But with the limited touches he's had in other games, he still is just so explosive and can get those house calls so easily, just from far out. I mean, looking over his past couple of weeks, he had 14 touches, week 15, 11 touches, and still went for 148, 67. I mean, weeks prior to that, it was 18 and 19. But with the limited touches, he goes off, just goes off.
Boom. Saints and Titans right now. Tyler Shuck is a top 15 quarterback play this week. And there's also talks about him being rookie of the year, depending on whether he wins this game.
I don't think he gets rookie of the year. I will say he looks better than what I ever thought he would do. I will admit to saying I'm wrong. I think they give him the chance to have the team next year. I don't know if they rush into getting a quarterback this offseason because, I mean, he's played well. He's able to process. I mean, he's 26 years old, so I hope he knows how to read defenses. He was in college.
Knows how to shuck it across the field.
Do you know him and Trevor Lawrence were in college at the same time?
Yes, I do. That is unbelievable.
Trevor Lawrence is on his
not the same age. About the same age.
It's just wild to me, man. But yeah, he looks good. I think he's gonna be back next year. He's played well. I was worried most about Chris Olave with Shuck, and he's brought Chris Olave to relevance. But my main concern was, I hope this inexperienced rookie that I don't like, I did not like him, I hope he does not throw Chris Olave's final hospital ball. That was my big concern. Chris Olave, with his concussions that he's had in the league, he is contemplating retiring and everything. He hasn't killed him, so that makes me happy. Because
that makes Olave happy also.
That makes a lot of fantasy owners and Olave happy as well, because I mean, Olave was one of those wide receivers that he's elite, he's good. He is a fantastic wide receiver, but it was just his injuries and his inexperienced quarterbacks killing him. And that was my big concern, especially, you were able to get him cheap because everybody was nervous that he was just going to say, I think I'm done with football. He had some serious conversations with his family and was like, I don't know if I come back. Made the right decision. He came back. He looks great. He's playing great. And Shuck is getting him the ball, and I love it.
Touched on the Jaguars and Colts. Just a touch with the Jaguars you think are going to completely destroy the Colts. The Jaguars have a very good rush defense, and Jonathan Taylor just hasn't been the same over the last few weeks.
How can he?
We have to give Rivers a little bit of props here. Coming off the couch after 5 years, he was really throwing the ball around last week.
He looked better last week. Finally threw for over 200, is like 260 or something.
Good game.
Getting the job done to Alec Pierce and sign out. Cannot get that ball to Michael Pittman. Cannot do it. No, impossible.
Downs got the ball a few times.
I think Pittman caught it a couple times, but nothing of relevance. The big name was Alec Pierce, so I just don't see him doing well against this Jags defense. The Jaguars know the Colts. This is a division game. They know them. I think they're going to come in and absolutely dominate them. So I am playing Jonathan Taylor, and I think I'm signing out on the Colts side. Jags side?
The Colts are hoping that the Texans lose today also in order to still have a shot in the playoffs, because if the Texans win, they're out.
Right. So they need a little help. And I mean, I think the Jags are just going to absolutely – I mean, the Jags are playing for number one overall. So they've got to win, and they can be the 1 seed in the AFC. So they're playing for – which is wild, yeah.
That is wild.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence has been playing out of his mind over the last 4 weeks, and he's looked great.
He just needed Travis Hunter to get out of the wide receiver room, and all of a sudden their offense exploded.
I mean, BTJ is still kind of irrelevant, but Jacoby Myers looks fantastic. I'm playing Jacoby Myers, ETN,
Washington.
Trevor Lawrence on that end of the ball.
Strange.
I could play Strange. I'd be a little bit nervous playing Strange. It doesn't seem like they are quite involving the tight end as much in their offensive scheme. But he's good for at least a couple of targets if you're desperate. I wouldn't try to force him into my lineup by any means, but I think you could play him. But I mean, Jacoby Myers, Trevor Lawrence, and Travis Etienne are absolute smash. Put them in.
Buccaneers and Dolphins. We talked about the Dolphins starting Quinn Ewers, and the Buccaneers have just had a rough time with Baker Mayfield. And the Dolphins were supposed to be known to have a good rush defense. So, and we got to talk about the Buccaneers also with Bucky Irving, like just not having much of a chance to have any goal line opportunities at all. They're giving it to Tucker.
And well, I mean, I think after that injury that took Bucky Irving out pretty much half the season, if not more, I think they're trying to limit him for next year, honestly. I think they're playing a future game of – I think Baker's extremely injured. And it'll be interesting to see this offseason and what comes out of how the extent of his injury and everything. And I think the Bucs know this. I think they're like, we're playing with a limited quarterback. We're not the team that we were because of it. Baker is unable to make things happen. So let's rest up and live to fight another day, but while staying competitive. They're not just completely thrown in the towel. They're trying to stay competitive, but I think there's deeper issues than what is being released with Baker, and they know that.
Seahawks, Panthers. The Panthers have a chance to win their division if they beat the Seahawks. But the Seahawks defense, I think they're going to give the Panthers a lot of trouble.
They are going. This game is. I need JSN to just absolutely dominate these Panthers. I want the Panthers to be competitive in this game, to just keep the score close. So they just like, screw it. JSN, just keep catching the ball. I need him one last time, JSN, to carry this team to a victory, man. I need it.
Sam Darnold's been really cold the last few weeks.
Sam Darnold doesn't like the end of the football season. He just starts getting nervous and sweaty after people talk about how good he is and just starts shaking down.
More tape on him.
I mean, hopefully he puts it together because this, they're also fighting for number one overall seed. I mean, there's Super Bowl talks with the Seahawks, and so he's got to be there to prove it and keep playing. And man, it's crazy.
We talked about the two bad teams and the Giants and the Raiders, so we're going to skip that one. Another two bad teams is the Cardinals and the Bengals. What do you think about this game? Another Sunday noon game.
If you got Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, or T. Higgins, congratulations, you've won your week. Because I think they're just going to dominate. Oh, Chase Brown as well. Sorry, I left him out. I tend to forget about Chase Brown.
I don't think they're just going to cruise through.
No. No.
Or do you think? I think it's going to be somewhat competitive because they still have Jacoby Brissett with the Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals' defense has been abysmal, so I think it's just going to be I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think it's going to be a fun game. That's why I'm saying if you have them, congratulations, because they're going to absolutely just keep cruising. I think they're going to try to keep Joe Burrow happy by, hey, you scored a bunch of points. Like, you're having fun, right? This is fun. You're scoring points. Because that man is so sad. So sad.
Eagles and Bills. I already said that I'm worried about Shakir playing against the Eagles. And I don't think you can trust anything with the Bills. And not to mention Josh Allen with his heel. You've got to be feeling a little bit scared about that.
This is the year that the Bills can win the Super Bowl. He doesn't have to get through Lamar. He doesn't have to get through the Mahomes in the playoffs. I think they rest him up. I think they're telling him not to play hero ball. I think they say save yourself for the playoffs. So this could be a game that they cruise, and maybe they just go off the arm of Josh Allen. I mean, I think they're going to absolutely try to win. There's no doubt about it. They have to win. But I think they're going to tell him, hey, do not be stupid out there. Don't get injured. This is our opportunity to go and win a Super Bowl. I mean, much easier than what they normally would have to go through. Normally, they'd be going through Lamar week 1, then going through Patrick Mahomes week 2. I mean, and this year they don't have that. So it is get healthy. Don't do anything stupid. Go and win the game with your arm, not with your body. Like, please don't sacrifice your body.
Game's more about trying to get home field advantage.
Right.
and potentially the number 1 seed. They could win out also and get the number 1 seed. AFC's still a little bit open about
Right.
who's going to get it.
And I mean, Eagles are still trying to fight for that 1 seed as well. They're going to be battling as well. But I think they're going to be saying the same thing. Hurts, don't do anything stupid. I mean, they're also playing in the playoffs, so they're going to. I think it could be a fun game though at the same time, but it could also be a big defensive flop, and it's a low scoring game.
I think there's a chance that Josh Allen has a like a late scratch right before the game.
No,
that Trubisky would start instead.
No, I don't think with the number 1 seed on the line and having to win, I don't think. And I don't think Josh Allen would let him. I think he's too competitive. I think he's going to want to be out there and playing for his team. I think that would be. I don't think there's a last minute scratch. No.
Sunday Night Football, we got the Bears and the 49ers. Both teams are 11-4. Somehow the 49ers are 11-4 when Brock was out for like 8 games, and then somehow the Bears are 11-4. They've had a lot of close games that they've won. They've edged out. And here's my conspiracy on this. Don't the Bears want the 49ers to win? So that way there's a higher probability that the 49ers plays the Packers in the playoffs, because the Packers just can't get around the 49ers in the playoffs.
You want to hear a wild thing?
Yeah, I'm here for it.
If the 49ers win out, right? If they win their final games, they will be at home 5 weeks in a row, because they would get the number 1 seed if they win out. So if they win the rest of the games, they're the number 1 seed. They get to play at home, or they get the bye week, then they play at home, then they play at home again, and then in the NFC Championship, they play at home. So
wow.
5 weeks just playing at home.
That's unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Just keep playing at home.
And the Bears continue to rest Odunze, but Luther Burden sounds like he's going to be available.
Yeah, which is great news for me, because I'm playing against DJ Moore. So let's just get Luther Burden out there. Roman Dunze has been kind of irrelevant anyways. So, but let's get Burden out there, get some more options, and let's not throw the ball to DJ Moore. Just for my own personal preference.
Well, and there's a good chance that Pearsall doesn't play in this game also for the 49ers, and Kittle is questionable.
Yeah, Kittle's questionable. I think he's going to play, especially with that number 1 seed on the line. He's a tough dude. He'll be out there. So
I think he plays too.
Yeah.
Last game is the Rams versus the Falcons. Monday Night Football with Kirk and Chains.
Kirko Chains, baby.
I don't think they have a chance. There's a chance that Drake London doesn't play. There's a lot of question marks on whether he's going to be available even for this game.
If he doesn't play, that's going to be – oh, man. If he doesn't play, that's a tough bite, especially against that Rams defense. That Rams defense is tough. I hope they just once again shut down Kyle Pitts. I'm playing against him.
It's a good chance they shut him down because he's going to be the only available receiver.
And it opens it up a lot more if Drake London is out there for Kyle Pitts. It makes me nervous if Drake London does play going against. I'm not playing against Drake London, but Kyle Pitts, it opens up the field for him to kind of do what he does. But if London is out, there is no wide receiver of consequence, and they will just shut down Pitts and dominate. And I don't see a world where the Rams don't come out here and dominate. This could be a game that we see. They're gonna rest Devontae. I mean, we could see a lot.
I haven't said that yet, but he definitely should be rested.
Yeah, they're gonna rest him these next 2 weeks and have him for the playoffs. So it's gonna be. I think Kyron and Corum, and obviously you play Puka because he'll go out and he could dominate the first half and then they shut him down. But this could be a game where they're sitting Stafford and Puka the second half.
Puka got me knocked out of the championship last week.
Ooh, you got Puka. Yeah, that'll do that. You got
completely destroyed.
You got pooped on.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't be too disappointed. My players came to play. It's just football.
It's fantasy, man.
Yep. But that's all the games, Colton. Like, we are at the end of the road for the fantasy championship.
Yeah, I mean, good luck to everyone that made it. You know, it's like we say all the time. Just make the playoffs and anything can happen. Just like my scrappy 6 seed team. I'm in the championship with I'm on the outside looking in, but I'm saying there's a chance.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
With that, we're the Fantasy Football Healers. You can find me at FF Healers. You can find Colton at FF Captain 22 on Twitter X. And good luck with everybody in the finals.
Good luck, everybody. Salud.